Right now, Congress is debating an extension of federal unemployment benefits. The current program expires at the end of the month, and without reauthorization, as many as 1.3 million Americans will lose their benefits. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky is one of the most prominent voices against extension. According to him, unemployment insurance is the leading cause of long-term unemployment.
I do support unemployment benefits for the 26 weeks that they're paid for. If you extend it beyond that, you do a disservice to these workers. There was a study that came out a few months ago, and it said if you have a worker that's been unemployed for 4 weeks and on unemployment insurance and one that's on 99 weeks, which would you hire? Every employer, nearly 100%, said they will always hire the person who's been out of work 4 weeks. When you allow people...
Paul is partially right. Most research suggests that people who have been out of work for 6 months or more have more trouble finding jobs than people who have been out of work less than that. But that's not the fault of the unemployed. It's because potential employers count that unemployment against them. And that's just unfair. People on unemployment insurance actually look harder for jobs than those who aren't on unemployment insurance. I mean, it just makes sense. They have the resources to be able to go out and look for a job because the unemployment insurance is keeping them alive. Insurance that, by the way, provides a still recovering economy with a vital burst of stimulus. There's really no question about it. Congress should extend federal unemployment benefits. So why would anyone oppose that? Let's ask Austin Peterson, libertarian commentator and editor at thelibertarianrepublic.com. Austin, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
So why would anyone oppose unemployment benefits when it is not the fault of the unemployed that there are 3 people looking for every 1 job that's out there? When capitalism fails, why should we just say, to hell with you, the worker?
Well, I don't know that it's that they want to oppose the benefits so much as they want to focus on adding benefits to these communities. So what Paul has done when he said this was he was going to Detroit to talk about proposals of economic freedom zones. And obviously the topic of unemployment came up, but what he's trying to do...
Economic freedom zones are just tax-free zones.
No, not tax-free. That's not true. He would cut federal taxes in communities.
More tax breaks.
But wait, you're talking about unemployment. Now, here's the thing. He's basically cutting taxes in those areas where they have unemployment.
Tax breaks for corporations ever since Reagan came into office. It doesn't work, Austin.
You said he wanted to. He's not trying to get rid of all the taxes. He's trying to lower them to 5% for personal and corporate taxes,
which is insane.
But this would save 1.
We took them from 74% down to 28%.
But the thing is,
it exploded the deficit.
Tom, it's only happening in places where they have an over 12% unemployment rate. So we're talking about highly distressed areas. Wouldn't you like to see tax cuts go at least to those areas where people are hurting the most, where unemployment is the highest?
What, tax cuts that have not worked? So we've got a policy that for 32 years we've tried over and over and over again, and every time we try it, it makes things worse. And you're saying, let's do more of that in the places where people are hurting the worst? Seriously?
But you want poor people in these zones to pay $1.3 billion more in taxes over the next 10 years? You don't want to give these people some sort of tax relief?
Poor people are paying income taxes?
I think people at our poverty line in the United States are paying a portion of income taxes, and I think that lowering their taxes into 5% would be fantastic.
What Rand Paul was doing was corporate shill 101. And then on top of that, he has the audacity.
So when he talks about abolishing the mandatory minimum drug penalties, you know the corporations just love that.
On top of that,
corporations just love a libertarian senator who rails against the war on drugs and talks about bringing blacks out of poverty. Corporations love that.
On top of that, going in the saying, let's have more corporate tax breaks and let's have more tax breaks for rich people. On top of that, he's saying, oh, and by the way, the people who are unemployed after 26 weeks, screw them.
Tom,
how is there anything reasonable about that?
I know you hate freedom, but here's the thing. People in the United States need freedom. And the thing that the only way they're going to have
You're telling me somebody is more free when they're unemployed and they lose their unemployment benefits? Well, is that your definition of freedom?
Well, I'll tell you what my definition of freedom is.
Is that your definition of freedom, that when somebody's unemployment runs out, they're then free?
My definition of freedom is to allow people who are in the most distressed communities in the United States to have some form of tax relief.
So are you suggesting that when somebody's unemployment benefits run out, they are more free than they were before?
No, I'm not suggesting that whatsoever. What I'm saying,
you're saying that offering people unemployment benefits is not anti-free.
We added $203,000 in, $203,000 jobs in November. We've got the lowest unemployment rate in the last 5 years at 7%, so the economy seems to be improving. I'm not sure why you're against this, and why not add tax relief to that program?
Because we've got 7% unemployment.
Well, I would like to see less
you've got
unemployment.
Millions and millions. You've got 4.5 million
But you
people
said
who are
Paul was partially
poor.
right, that people who are unemployed longer, they have less chance of getting jobs. So
That's why the government should be the employer of last resort.
Oh, my gosh.
That's why we should bring back the WPA, the CCC. Let's put everybody to work right now, or drop the retirement age to 55.
You mean bring back the CCCP, I think.
Yeah. Or drop the retirement age to 55 and let the old geezers get out of the way so that, you know, young folks.
No, we need to let the old
market.
communists get out of the way so that we can have the new libertarian generation come in and install these freedom zones, the economic freedom zones in Detroit and in Kentucky. I want freedom zones just like Jack Kemp. I want Jack Kemp on steroids.
Drop the retirement age
to 55.
Give
me that sweet, sweet freedom, Tom. I'll take it any day if you don't want it.
Yeah. Freedom to die in the gutter, freedom to starve.
That's right.
Freedom to be without unemployment.
Better to die on my feet than on my knees.
Yeah, well, okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Great line, Austin. Thanks for dropping by.
Have a good one.
Coming up, America is the wealthiest nation